All right, welcome back. I hope you're having an amazing time so far. Our next speaker is Gary Sztajnman. He is an AI product manager. Please join me in welcoming Gary to our virtual stage.
Hey, thank you, Patricia, for the nice intro. Let me share my slide and then we can get started. All right, I'm super excited to be here. It's my second time coming to AI4, and today we're going to speak about AI for customer service using GPT-3. I've been in the field of conversational AI for a long time, especially into chatbot, and I'm passionate about integrating the latest, deep learning models, the latest technologies in AI to really create a great experience for our customers. A tiny bit about me. My name is Gary Sztajnman. I have a background in product management, data science, and AI. I used to work at Verizon. They just recently moved, so a lot to come soon. And I invite you to follow me on LinkedIn. Give you my LinkedIn at the end of the presentation if you want to follow me in my next adventures. And I hold a master's degree from Columbia University in data science. So, let's get started. And I want to get started with a question that I got recently from a friend of mine called Sam. And she's starting a new gym studio, but it really could apply to the telecommunication industry or many other industries. She came to me because she knows I'm in the field of conversational AI and chatbot. And she asked me, what should I do? Should I create a chatbot? I'm starting this new company. I have a lot of requests from my customers. I'm looking for the right product market fit, and I'm changing, I'm evolving. So my content, the questions I get are changing a lot. Do you think chatbots is a good way to automate all this for me? And before telling you my opinion, what I think about it, I just want to make it a little interactive, and I'd love to know what you think. So please, if you can go in the chat and maybe just tell me, kind of like, yes, go ahead, Sam. Good thing to do a chatbot, or no, maybe that's not the right time, or maybe that's not the best investment for your money or for your time. So I'd love just to get your opinion about it. And I definitely, would learn a lot, going to learn a lot from you. And so what I told Sam is three things before even starting a yes or no. I told Sam, you should know that chatbots, they're very hard to scale, hard to maintain, and they often may be disconnected from the overall solution. So what do I mean about that? First, chatbots are made of intents of answers, and the list of answers can be hard to scale. It kind of follows the 80-20 rule, which means that to best use your chatbot, you want to focus on the 20% of possible causes that lead to 80% of the overall issue volume, which really means that make sure your chatbot can answer your top questions. Like what your question. So what did you get? This is definitely more challenging, and this is when it's really hard to scale, and this is when you're going to start answering things like, sorry, I didn't get that, because you can't answer everything. And so that's going to be a challenge for you, Sam. Number two, chatbots are hard to maintain. So in two ways. One, because there are new things that are coming up. Potentially your business is evolving. So if you have new FAQs, new offers, new product and services. So every time you change something in your offers, you want to make sure that your chatbot is aware of this, and you want to update your chatbot. But not only new, but also making sure that your chatbot is up to date with what you've built in the past. Verify that the verbiage used is following the latest guideline. If you have maybe like a new rebranding, verify the consistency of the experience with your backend APIs, make sure that nothing breaks in the background. if your chatbot offers, link away or deep links to pages, making sure that all those pages, the links are working well, that they're still providing the right experience. And this is a lot of work just to make sure that the chatbot continues to perform in the long run. And one thing that makes it difficult is that your chatbot, the solution in the system is often disconnected from your other solution in your organization. It's often designed as another team, sometimes works in silos. I've seen this in the industry many times. And so what you'll see is that on your website, in your app, you have articles and glossary and search and forums and how-to and FAQ and blog. And this might be amazing content if you've really invested into it. However, your chatbot might not have access to all this and might not be aware of all this, and it might be a very long process to just bring everything into the chatbot. All right. And so those are the usual challenges in the industry, and definitely for like telecommunication company that have a massive amount of customers and questions. And I've seen different ways that company go about solving those issues. The first way is the do nothing way, which is first you have a big strategy that you bring to your company. You want to build a great chatbot, you invest a lot into it, and then you wait, and then you do all the things that come up, prices that come up, but you don't continue investing in your chatbot. And after a little bit, you get an old, rusty, malfunctioning chatbot. So don't do this. But most companies maybe do this, which is what I call the manual way. I have a team that's managing daily requests to make sure the chatbot is up to date. So if you have a new pricing, let's say the gym studio, the subscription goes from $19.99 to $29.99, you need to go into the chatbot, update the text, push the prod, make sure all is approved, to make sure that the chatbot is up to date. New step in your FAQ, in your subscription process, you need to update the chatbot. Maybe your VP or your CEO says, oh, we need to change the verbiage about something. The gym studio is not about being relaxing, it's about meditation. You need to change little words here and there. So that's a lot of work, and I like to think about it in a way as this Charlie Chaplin GIF on the left, which is kind of like an alienating work where you just fix things all the time, but you don't really improve, and it can be like a slow and inefficient process. A better way is to look at content management system, CMS, and to really store information in a CMS and just like connect your chatbot to the information that you might store somewhere in a centralized place. So this, makes it easy for the chatbot team to ensure that the chatbot is always up to date, because they don't have to manage the knowledge. It's managed somewhere else. However, it's still a lot of work for the team to connect the chatbot to the CMS and to connect it in the right way. And it doesn't really solve the problem of scaling. You still might have to create a lot of intents in the chatbot, a lot of pre-programmed answers in a way. If you're using Dialogflow, they also have an interesting way to integrate your chatbot with your FAQ, where you can automatically upload a file or link to a page with the FAQ, and they can upload your FAQ. So that's a nice way to scale easily. However, this is like a very manual process, and if your FAQ page is going to change, you will have to refresh this menu in Dialogflow to make sure that your chatbot is up to date. It can answer the latest questions. So, those ways are not bad, but I don't think it's the perfect way. And I think that, with the latest technology, we can do better. So what I really want to, talk about today is the AI way, or the way that could use this technology, GPT-3, and kind of like going to the next step in Chatbot, and really focus on the customer experience. So let's talk about GPT-3. What is it? It stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformers. It's the 3 because it's the third version. It uses alternating dense and locally bending sparse attention patterns in the layer of the transformer. All models are partitioned across GPUs. All right, I'll stop here. This is way too technical. I promise that there won't be a technical talk. So I'm not going that, that deep here. What I think though that you should know about it is that it's basically, it's a language model. It understands language. It uses deep learning to do so. It's the third generation, right? There was a GPT-2, now a GPT-3. It is created by an organization called OpenAI. It was introduced in May 2020, so it's like 1 year old. And what's pretty awesome about it is that it's difficult to distinguish the results from something that would be created by a human. And it's not only written, it's also images and could be like, videos. It's really different types of content. It's only available as an API for now, and the underlying model of GPT-3 is not open source. I think there was a deal recently with Microsoft where Microsoft was able to get access to the model, but for them, they just want to keep it as an API. And one of the reasons why they do this is that they are worried about misuse of their model, especially for maybe like fake news, and having access through an API makes it more secure and more limited and more controllable. There is also an open source version of it that came up from, was created by a community of AI researchers called GPT Neo, if you want to look into it. But this is, some knowledge about this model that's really advanced and very recent model in the world of natural language processing and AI. I want to show you a couple of examples because really I think it's by seeing some examples that you're going to get this power of being able to generate things. So here we have an example with a layout generator. So if you want to, create some JavaScript code and you know nothing about JavaScript, you can just, type in your, just like human natural language what you want, and you're going to get some JavaScript code. I think it's quite, quite amazing and works really well here. A button for every color of the rainbow. You have it and you have the code and you can use it to build a website if you need so really powerful, and it's able to really connect language, natural language to code. Another example, if you want to do some data analysis and you know nothing about SQL, you can just type your question in your human language, just give it the right information, and it's able to generate some SQL using the language model. Can be used for more complex question, what the average number of influencers each user is subscribed to. Here we go, average count, it's quite powerful. Another type of example that I think is really super impressive. Here again, in natural language, you can describe a website, and it's connected to Figma. Figma is a tool to design and mock up and design a website, for example. So here it just creates a bunch of sections and just describe the section, is able to get not only text but also images for your website. Different section. I think it's quite amazing that it's able to be so accurate and so precise, and also like it just looks good. So kind of like a really nice example here. Let's see, use case section. Yeah, so you can say placeholder on the right, placeholder on the left, testimonial with the headline. Yet again, it's able to generate another section and just text from the customer and just names. Really pretty strong. Another example is to, as we were generating SQL, can we generate deep learning code using Keras, which is a framework in the realm of deep learning. And so here you kind of have an AI that's able to generate code for another AI, which kind of like reminds of some like Black Mirror, the TV show. But it's it's quite impressive that it's able to just translate text into Keras code. This one is the one I like a lot. So it's called Daily, it uses a certain version of GPT-3 and can translate text into images, of find the equivalent and generate images. So as I said before, it's not only generating text, but it can also generate images if it's trained in the right way. So two examples here. One at the top, an armchair in the shape of an avocado. And it's able to get the right thing, the nice chair, the right colors, the right form. Which one do you like the most? Chair number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from left to right. My favorite, I think, is the one on the right. I like the design. I don't know if it looks, if it's very comfortable though. It's a big pillow in the middle, but just look very cool. I like it a lot. On the bottom, we have the exact cat on the top as a sketch on the bottom. So, you give it one image and it can generate multiple sketches. So you can draw in a way. It's quite amazing. Put the link in the bottom if you want to look at the blog post and what it can do. It's really, really powerful. On this one, I think I really like the sketch number 4. So the sketch was like this little mustache that I think is really cute. It's very nice. All right, so I think right now we have a better understanding of the problem: scale, maintain, disconnected. That the way that there are no great way to do this in the business today, and that we have this technology that's extremely powerful and can understand language really well. So how do we connect the dots? What's the solution here? And with this, I would say the solution is not to do what Microsoft did in 2016. They launched a bot called Tay on Twitter, and Tay could communicate with people. And the text was purely generative, right? So Microsoft wasn't controlling what Tay could say. It started very nice with Tay saying humans are super cool. Unfortunately, after different attacks that Tay received, he was turned into something offensive, something racist, just in a few hours. The solution here is not to tell you, for your enterprise, for your business, just let the AI generate all the answer, and let the AI be super open with no limits, with no control. Really might not apply to your business or to Sam's business in the role of GM Studio. And the solution is very different, way more control, and way limits risk by a lot. So the solution that can exist is the AI can crawl the content on your website, and then can use this content to answer your customers using GPT-3 and the semantic understanding that's behind GPT-3. So let's look more into it. Okay, so this is a high-level design of what the solution can look like, but really it needs to be adapted to every business and every type of question that you get from your customer, or at least every type of company. So let's go from left to right and see how it can be applied. So you have users asking questions. In the case of Sam, it could be, can I bring, should I bring my own mat? Or do you have mat at the studio? What are the hours of operation? Is a specific employee or yoga teacher available that day? So you get the question. That's kind of like a usual chatbot thing. And then you send the question to two systems. You'll send it here to your natural language understanding chatbot, to kind of like your usual BAU chatbot. And the chatbot might have an answer for it. And then you also send it to what I would call the GPT-3 bot. And we'll talk about how a GPT-3 bot works. But the GPT-3 before the question is going to be connected to your other systems, so your website, your apps, your blogs, your knowledge base, your customer your CMS, your content management system. So everything that's within your company, you want to make sure to connect it and to let your GPT-3 bot crawl all those systems, at least the relevant information, and make sure that this information, those text, and can be ingested into the GPT-3 bot and indexed. And so when you get a new question, the question is also going to be sent to the GPT-3 bot that's going to be looking in everything that's indexed, you're looking for the right information, for the right data. And so those two systems are kind of like competing with one another, and they both provide and output results with different level of confidence. And then you might score this, sort those results, and you might have a decision engine that can decide whether or not to choose the output of the GPT-3 or the output of the more like BAU chatbot, based on natural language understanding, more like something that you've manually updated with intent. Okay, so what does it mean? What does it look like for the user at the end? So here we have an example, of the bot. Hi there, I'm Sam. We have the best gym studio in town. What can I help you with? So kind of like a usual welcome menu. And here in this example, customer might say, hey, can I enter the gym if I'm not fully vaccinated yet? It's an interesting question because maybe it's a new question. So we talk about maintaining the chatbot. Maybe it's a question that doesn't come that often in the past, but maybe it's coming more often today. And maybe you haven't trained your chatbot to answer this question because it's a little bit new. So your chatbot might say, sorry, I didn't get that. But maybe on the left, the chatbot might say, here are some topics that you might be interested about. Maybe a link to your COVID policy, or maybe some information about how to enter the gym. And then maybe on your COVID policy, the customer might find information about whether or not they can enter if they're not fully vaccinated or not. So you see, like here, it's not too bad, but it's not like the great experience, right? What you want for your customer is just to give the right answer directly and in the chatbot whenever there is a question from the customer. With the power of GPT-3 and with this new technology where you've connected the chatbot to your other systems, what you can achieve is way better than that. Really, it's really amazing. And in this example that I'm showing here, can I enter the gym if I'm not fully vaccinated yet? It's able to find this information maybe on your website in an FAQ, and was able to automatically bring this information back into the chatbot. So maybe it's going to say, wearing a mask while you exercise may be comfortable, and just find the exact sentence that answer the question, which is, if you've not been vaccinated, we ask you to wear a mask. Maybe there's a link, just an example. But here, what's really amazing about it is that without training the chatbot, without creating a new intent for, an intent that could be a question about entering the gym while not vaccinated, without creating a new intent, so without extra manual work, your chatbot can learn from content that's on your website and just bring this answer directly back into the chatbot in a nice way. Then you can design it the way you want, but at least it's directly in the chatbot. And really the power here is that because of the semantic understanding, GPT-3 can really connect the exact sentence in the page that's going to answer your question. All right, so I'm really excited about this, and therefore, if I would, the question from Sam, I would say, it might be difficult, but should you create a bot? Yes, definitely you should. And with using GPT-3, using this kind of system is going to make your life really better, and your chatbot solution really stronger in the long term and better for your customers. All right, that's it. Thank you for attending. Thank you so much. Please, add me on LinkedIn. That's the best way, I think, to stay connected, or you can also send me an email. And also, please put your questions, any question you might have in the chat, and I'm going to be super happy to answer all of your questions. Thank you so much. That was great.
Wow, thank you, Gary. That was awesome. If you could stop sharing your slides, I know this virtual audience wants to give you a huge virtual round of applause. Thank you so much for sharing these insights with us today. For the audience, it's time for you to make your way to your next session. Along the way, make sure you accept your connection request and take some time to check out our amazing exhibits. Thanks so much, and we'll see you around.